We're on day 11, and this is Friday, May the 1st, last month of school. As always, be sure you're taking attendance on the attendance page, and thank you for those of you that do that. Big change that we have now in our grading policy, and this is important. You'll see now that I sent you an email, it'll say updated with today's date on it, May 1st. And one big change is the school district has changed the calendar. The last day of school for students now is May 22nd. So now all work is going to be due on May 22nd. The other big change deals with this note that I put on here. What I have now done is for any missing project that is listed here, I have scored it as a 0. So that now it'll show in Summit greens on projects, meaning you've turned them all in, even though the missing ones are turned in because they're 0. Now, does that mean you cannot fix that? No, you can. You can still do the project. You can still do the replacement project if necessary. But the big thing is now you're going to have to email me that I've now completed that missing project that you gave me a 0 for. Will you grade it and then fix it? Yes. But the important thing is now you should be able to see a grade. So if you have a letter grade, it could be a C, a B, or an A. That is the grade that will go on your report card. If you want to change that grade, then you will have to do the missing project and email me that you've completed it. That's important. If your grade is still coming out to be an incomplete, which will mean that even with me putting zeros in for all those projects, you're still not earning a C. Your grade would technically be a D or an F, but we don't give those grades, so that would come out to be an incomplete. And that would then signal that you would probably have to take the course over again, or credit completion, depending. It kind of depends on how much missing work you have. Now let's look at PFAs. PFAs are now going to be counted as exempt if I see at least 2 attempts to take the PFA and you still haven't passed it. Then they get exempted. If you have, and that isn't always a good thing because that removes different grades that could actually help improve your grade. So it's better to try to pass a PFA than for me to have to exempt it after multiple attempts. I know this isn't really clear. We just got this information yesterday from administration. So if you have any questions, you can send me a remind. So you may see that you're going to be trying to take a PFA that you were trying to pass, and it's now going to say it's expired because it was exempted because you tried it multiple times. So the only PFAs that are not exempted are ones that you've never tried. And that's why I'm going to encourage you now to start trying those PFAs that are listed here. I've taken off the exempted ones that were exempted yesterday. So the list that I gave you in this email are the ones that you've never tried. So if you try them and you pass them, that will actually help improve whatever grade is listed up here. If you try them at least twice and you cannot pass them, let's say you get a 6 or a 7 on 2 tries, then they will be exempted and you won't have to try them anymore. But they won't help improve your grade when I exempt them. So that's all new, and we'll see how that goes. So many of you now are earning a 3rd quarter grade, which is your final semester grade. And if you're happy with that, then you don't have to try to do any of this other stuff. If you want to make it a better grade, let's say you have a C and you want to shoot for a B or an A, then you will have to complete the missing projects and try to pass the PFAs that are still listed. So taking the PFA is still not any different. You have to pass the diagnostic and request the PFA that you want to take and remind. And again, PFAs can be exempted now if I see that you've taken them, tried them at least twice, and then still are not able to pass, then we'll exempt those and you can go on to another PFA that you may want to be able to pass a little easier. So again, while you're working, you're only focusing on final products. Do not do any of the checkpoints. That's just a waste of your time at this point. We're trying to get you to a point where you will earn a grade. So if you still are showing an incomplete, those final products that are right now graded as 0 can change that if you start getting them done. Just remember, you have to email me that, hey, I finished this lab on changing states of matter. Will you grade it now? And then I can have to hand enter it in there, but you'll have to send me an email, or you'll have to send me a remind that says now I finished it, because Summit will lock you out from submitting it because technically it'll say I graded it, but I gave you a 0. Remember, with any missing labs, you now have a list of replacement labs that you can do to use if you weren't able to do the lab in class, or you didn't complete it and you can't remember now how to finish it. Okay, so those replacement labs, if you had to do them, I put them in your OneNote. Some people have completed that, but if you are not, if I missed you, send me a reminder and say, hey, I need that. Some of you actually, when I did that, I checked, you just hadn't turned in the lab. Now, it's not a matter of going to Summit now and just saying I'm going to turn it in. You have to email me and say I need to turn it in because it was graded. If it was missing, it was counted now as a 0. Okay? Again, if you have questions, you'll send me a remind.